Alpha Sports 406. This is Dallas.
This is Ricky.
And we are coming to you for our fourth installment this time, right?
Yep, lucky number 4.
Lucky number 4. I do apologize. We did not. Ricky's been up my ass all week long to post the number 3. So if you get a chance, listen to number 3. It's got our picks for week 1 and all that good stuff. And I just got a chance to post it last night, so I apologize. I will make sure I turn around and get this one posted first thing tomorrow morning. So today, pretty much, we're just going to touch up on Antonio Brown and the jackass that he is. That's my opinion, of course. And then week 1 recap, and then we'll go through our week 2 picks. So it sounds like Ricky and I came in pretty close to the same.
Yeah.
10-5-1.
10-5-1.
So did somebody tie?
Yeah,
the Cardinals tied.
Cardinals and the...
Which was kind of dumb. I mean, we'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll touch up on that.
I can't believe it, but yeah, we'll get to it.
Oh, we'll get to it. So, without further ado, we're going to move forward. We're going to try to keep this one under 50 minutes. So I know it's a little bit easier to listen to.
You jinxed us by putting a time on there.
Sorry, my bad. Okay. So, all right, let's just jump in. Antonio Brown. So, Antonio Brown, let's start the story off first. Okay, let's start the story back before the Raiders. Because before the Raiders, Antonio Brown was a problem for the Steelers. Okay, he started becoming a problem.
Correct.
Okay, he started blaming Ben Roethlisberger and Mike Tomlinson, and I'm not a Tomlin fan, and I'm not a Roethlisberger fan, but still, regardless, being kind of a punk about it. And then,
well, he was trying to make like they were the bad guy,
right?
And he was never in the wrong,
right. And so then what a lot of people forget to realize is the Patriots tried trading for him
back in March,
which makes this thing a little bit more shady,
right?
Makes it a little bit more sketch, because then the Steelers come out and say, "I'm not trading you to a rival
for a first round draft
pick." So for a first round draft pick, that's important.
Oh yeah, huge.
So then he goes to Oakland
for a 3rd and a 5th.
Yes, for pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
Right? And then proceeds to be a complete jackass. And did he ever actually see a practice day with the Oakland Raiders?
Like 1, maybe 2.
So he has the whole episode where he goes to cryotherapy, which is a lot of people are doing it. He's been doing it for multiple years, and the idiot wore the wrong shoes.
Right. Frostbite on his feet
from wearing the wrong shoes. Then he proceeds...
Then it just snowballed.
From there. Then he proceeds to complain about the helmet.
Right.
Wanted
to wear his old helmet.
I
don't know how true it is, but apparently he had his Pittsburgh Steelers helmet painted.
Yeah, I mean,
there's the Raiders.
Yeah, there's a lot of goofy stories. There's a lot of goofy stories out there. So
this guy's off his rocker.
Well, I mean, and that's kind of a question. Has he had too many concussions?
I don't know.
And is the guy somewhat nuts?
But apparently he's been a head case this whole time, because now I was reading a report last night that AB had issues with Troy Polamalu.
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And Polamalu's been retired for what?
Yeah, 6, 7 years?
No, it hasn't been that long. I think he's been out of the game for 3 or 4 years, maybe. But this would have been...
Regardless. I thought it was in 12. I thought it was in 2012.
The issues were back in 2012.
Yeah.
With Polamalu. So now you got to wonder, how much shit was AB starting in Pittsburgh that Tomlin and Roethlisberger not necessarily threw under the rug, but I mean, there had to have been a lot more that we didn't hear about.
So regardless, it's very clear that there's more people that Antonio Brown had problems with.
Yeah.
Right? So then the Patriots sign him the same day he gets released. Now, the rumors are that he has talked to social media experts within NFL on how to get released, on how to be a problem. Then he gets released. Let's break this down, because we have made it very clear we don't want to get too much into politics on this show, right? So let's break this down. He gets into an argument with the general manager, okay? Proceeds to call Mike Mayock a cracker and threaten to punch him in the face. Now let's be very clear, okay? If at any point in time someone looked at Mike Tomlin or any other black coach in the league and called him the N-word, all right, he would be done. Yeah. He would be done. His career would be over. He'd be shamed. It would be done and over with. So
he would never play another down.
The double standard there is extremely frustrating. It's bullshit. But whatever. You can get hung up on that. You can be a bitch about that. You can be a crybaby about that all you want. You will never change my stance on that. That is a double standard right now going on, and I think it's a complete bitch move. So moving past that, then he gets fined $250,000, I think it was.
Yeah, somewhere right around there.
For the incident, and rightfully so. You threatened to punch your general manager in the face.
I think that fine was everything combined. I think it was the misconduct with the argument with the GM and being fined for all the missed practices.
So then you're looking at $210,000 fine for the misconduct for the GM.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's pretty much roughly, give or take $1,000 or $2,000, a $40,000 fine for missing practice for the grievance, and there's one other one in there. I forgot what it was.
Well, it was just
missing a team meeting, I think it was.
Yeah. I mean, it was a little bit of everything from the guy just being a head case, but.
So then he gets released. And the same fucking day.
Hours
later.
It wasn't even a day, it was hours.
And everybody was saying that the Patriots are going to snag him. 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 And I'm like, man, who the fuck would put money on it? And this is something that's just, like, everybody has asked me. We were just talking about the reason that we did not post a comment on this on the thread is because a lot of times I'm the one. Ricky works during the daytime, and I'm at the bar during the day, so I have a little bit more free time when as news feeds are coming in to make posts. And I am very biased when it comes to this situation. I think that this situation that Antonio Brown is, I think it's the problem with professional sports. I think it's an example of how not to be a professional athlete today. I hate LeBron for the same thing. I hate Antonio Brown. These guys are divas, and they're flat out ruining professional sports.
Oh, absolutely. And the bad thing is, like we talked about it a couple weeks ago with the holdouts. You know, the organization, or not the organization, the league that these guys play in, they're allowing this.
Yes.
You know, nothing's being done to stop it by any means. Going to the timeline now, Antonio Brown, I don't know if you read it, his Instagram tweet, or his Instagram post, whatever.
With the letter.
First thing Saturday morning. No, this is first thing Saturday morning. He was had this whole rambling on thing about being held back and not being able to be who he wants to be, and to release me.
So release me as in?
But when I read that, I didn't take it like he wanted to be released from his contract.
You take it as in unleash the beast, guys.
Yes,
take the handcuffs off.
Let me show what I can do
go
on the field. That's how I took that. And then about a half hour later, you see another post from, I think it was Adam Schefter from ESPN, saying AB's been fined $250,000. It voids his $29 million guaranteed money from Oakland. So now AB is saying there's no way I'm playing there.
Yeah. So then he goes. So now he was set to get $13 million guaranteed this year, 13 point something guaranteed. So then he gets released, and he gets rewarded a bigger contract. Granted, it's not as many years, but a $15 million contract, 9 as a signing bonus, with stipulations for upwards of $15 million in a year.
Right. Now,
so he's making more money for being a bigger problem.
I'd have to check it out, but I don't know what all goes into the option. But New England also added a $20 million option.
Yes, a franchise option though.
Right.
You're right.
So I don't know if that's just one more year or what. I didn't see the full details on it.
I will say it again, and again, we are peons in this world, right? Nobody, I mean, whoever listens to this stuff, right now it's friends and friends of friends, maybe, right? Maybe we get lucky and a random YouTuber or a random podcast person starts listening to the show and hears this. So I am nobody when it in the professional sports world. I'm next to nobody in the professional sports world. But I am so sick and tired of professional athletes acting like complete divas, acting like complete jackasses. They are flat out ruining sports. This isn't a perfect example of ruining sports. And so now, let's take it one step further. 2 hours ago, we get a report in saying that Antonio Brown has been accused of sexual assault.
Right. Well, an actual case has been filed, I guess.
Yeah, it's serious.
It's in civil court.
It's serious. And apparently there's proof. Apparently there's text messages. Apparently there's pictures. Have you read any of the report?
I started to read it.
So did you hear about the part where Antonio Brown has been accused of, while this girl is watching TV, masturbating and getting off and climaxing? I'm trying to be as appropriate as we can here on podcast. Climaxing on her back without her knowing it. Then she kind of freaks out, apparently. She freaks out. She gets up, and he proceeds to pretty much just flat out rape her, is the story. Now, this is a girl who he hired. She was a gymnast. He hired as a personal trainer. in college probably wanted to nail it, right? Probably wanted to hit it. That's why you're in college, you're a professional athlete.
Right.
You don't need to hire a gymnast for a fucking trainer, okay?
Right.
So you hire her and you try to convince her, and she says that she has put every advance off. Now, let's be honest, probably not, right? She knew what she was getting herself into, but at the same time, who knows? But regardless, it still doesn't warrant the fact that you should ever be accused of being raped in a situation.
No.
And he's accused of rape. So now moving forward, that a case is claimed, how do the Patriots look? The Patriots look like jackasses, which makes me happy. I got in an argument with a guy yesterday who is a huge Patriots fan, and I told him flat out, listen, I don't like the Patriots, and I don't like Tom Brady, and I don't like Bill Belichick. I respect the hell out of him for being one of the best football franchises in history.
Right.
If not the best. Right? So, flat out, one of the best franchises in NFL history. Belichick is a genius. Tom Brady, as much as I can't stand the guy, he's amazing at what he does. I think he's a very systematic quarterback, but he's still very good in that system. And in those, he's very good. He's very, very good, right? That has nothing to do with the fact that I completely hope they fucking tank this year, and they're not gonna.
No, they're not.
Because look at Week 1. They had an amazing Week 1 without Antonio Brown. They're not gonna, but it just makes me lose respect. I respected the Patriots. I respect Belichick. And again, I'm a nobody, and I understand that. This is not going to mean shit to anybody. But I at least respect Tom Brady and respect Belichick and respect that team for what they've accomplished. And I have zero respect for the Patriots for signing Antonio Brown.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens now. I mean, as much as I'm with you about Belichick. I respect the hell out of the guy. He's a genius, football genius, like through and through. But he doesn't put up with shit.
He doesn't.
So it'll be interesting to see how he handles this situation with Antonio Brown now that this lawsuit's come out.
And that being said, let me tell you this. I actually lost a little bit of respect, and I love John Gruden, but I lost a little bit of respect for John Gruden in this whole situation because he really tried making it work with Antonio Brown. He was more lenient than I've ever seen him be with any players. I'm a huge Buccaneers fan, so I got to read all the details and read all the things, and I was always getting notifications anytime he had a spat with Warren Sapp. It happened a lot, and he didn't put up with a lot of shit. And he was known for a quarterback for a coach who didn't put up with a lot of shit, and he put up with a lot of shit through Antonio Brown. Still tried to support him, still tried to be the guy, and Antonio Brown kind of made him look like a jackass. So,
well, I don't know if it was as much of Gruden putting up with it as more of he was trying to be that bridge between the organization and Brown.
And that's a good possibility.
And so now, granted, had things turned around and Antonio Brown, stayed with the Raiders, then I think you'd have saw that turn, and Gruden would have been that no nonsense head coach that he needs to be for his team.
Maybe. Either way,
now not only is he making not making any fans from fans, but he's also got a Hall of Famer pissed off at him now.
Jerry Rice?
Because Jerry Rice feels like Antonio Brown played him and played everybody else in the beginning.
He did.
So
he made the entire Raiders organization look like idiots. He really did.
Well, I mean,
he made the entire organization.
When you go as far as calling a Hall of Fame wide receiver, saying you want to play in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And then, 6 months later, this all plays out.
Yeah, and it kills me that you see these analysts who are supporting Antonio Brown and supporting the cause and everything. Now, granted, there are a lot out there who's spoken out against him. And I think Stephen A. Brown is one of them. And I usually
Stephen
A. Smith, sorry. And Stephen A. Smith usually annoys me. He's even come out and said the guy's a joke.
Yeah.
The guy's a joke. And like I said, man, I love professional sports. And you and I have been huge sports fans for how we've been best friends for 20 years almost?
Yeah.
21 years now. And we've always been huge sports fans. And I am just losing a serious passion for sports because of these dumbasses who are portraying the leagues. And unfortunately, you're not getting the studs out there that are portraying the leagues because the studs out there that are portraying in a positive way are smart enough to shut up and just play ball.
Right.
But you don't have that in the Jackasses, in the Antonio Browns.
Well, I mean,
in the LeBron Jameses. You don't have that. You have these outspoken figures who feel like they are larger than life, bigger than God kind of feel. I mean, LeBron James literally sat there and said, I have a whole generation, an entire population of the world who looks up to me and who wants to know my opinion. bro, check yourself. Like, you really don't.
Yeah, no one wants to hear your opinion.
So,
but I know we preach all the time we're going to keep politics out of this, and I'm going to make this short and try to leave the politics out of it. But for every Antonio Brown, just, you know, your LeBron Jameses, guys like that just put a black eye on sports, you have a guy like Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Who comes and does everything right.
Yeah.
This guy is a model citizen, great football player. We did our top quarterbacks. We both think right now he's in the top 5 quarterbacks.
Phenomenal.
He comes out and says he supports a Bring Your Bible to School program.
I love it.
Which is phenomenal. It's amazing.
Yep.
I mean, you should be behind something like that.
Yep.
And he gets torn apart by other organizations,
Yep.
Activist groups, stuff like that, for that reason.
Well, and we can take it another step further. You can take it to Colin Kaepernick, right, who did the whole Jackass move, kneeling, and you could literally tell me that you will get 1 million viewers and make thousands of dollars a month off your YouTube channel and off your podcast if you would just support Colin Kaepernick, and I would tell you to fuck off. And I'm pretty sure you would say the exact same thing, right? So this guy gets publicly, he's praised. He's praised. Oh, you started a movement. Congratulations. You took a knee. You took a stand. You did this. You did that. So and so and so. You literally wore pig socks on the field, which is a joke to me. Everybody hates the cops until you need a cop.
Yep.
And then you have a player like Tim Tebow, who takes a knee in the end zone in prayer and gets ridiculed and made fun of and everything. The world is a joke, and the sports world is becoming even more of a joke. And for these people who think that I'm over-exaggerating, look at the ratings. The rating says that I'm right. The rating says that people are sick and tired of the shit, and they just want to turn on the TV and be able to watch football on Sunday, do their fantasy football league without hearing fucking all this bullshit and everything else. So with as much as we try to keep politics out, it's going to come up a little bit. Well, and I feel like it's mainstream right now on all sports.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like I said, you got for every Antonio Brown you have, you guys, because they're everywhere in every sport. You got that guy, but then you got a guy like Drew Brees, and there's tons of athletes like Drew Brees.
Yeah,
I mean, you just mentioned Tim Tebow. I mean,
yeah.
But then these guys get chastised for their beliefs.
Yeah.
Then you take your Antonio Browns, your Colin Kaepernicks. I honestly don't think these are these guys' beliefs. This is just the facade they're putting on.
Yes.
And they're being praised for it.
Yeah. Well, and it's not even, and in my opinion, you're not even talking about the people who are speaking out, like Drew Brees and saying, hey, I'm all for Bibles and everything else in this situation. You're not even talking about those people. Let's take a look at last year. I believe it was last year. I'm almost positive it was last year. On the Steelers team, on the organization, when you had, what is his name? The center? Villanueva, who goes out. So the teams, it is a rule. NFL's losing ratings, like they're losing their ass off on ratings. And so they say, okay, here's the deal. How this is going to work. We're going to stop airing the national anthem. Teams got to stay in the locker from the national anthem. I don't want to see these protests. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see that. Makes everybody happy, shuts everybody up. So he goes out and he just puts his hand on his heart for the national anthem. He fucking served the country.
Yeah, he
was a vet. And he just gets criticized by his coach, by the public, by everybody, saying that that's what he's doing is wrong and he's causing problems. So for those of you who have not figured out, Ricky and I are 100% Republican. I don't know if you can get any more Republican than Ricky and I are, but let's leave Republican, Democrat out of this because that's such a bullshit move. Let's leave race card out of this because that's such a bullshit move. Everybody wants to claim Republican or Democrat. Everybody wants to claim black or white. This has nothing to do with that. This has to do with the straight fact of wrong or right. And at the end of the day, you have these jackasses being praised for being divas. And that's all Antonio Brown is. And by the Patriots re-signing him or signing him right away, snatching him up, they just cater to exactly what's wrong with this fucking this sport.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's bullshit. I'm done with my rant and rave. Like I just despise everything that is about football with these divas and catering and giving into these people. I couldn't be happier that Mike Mayock took his stance that he did. Couldn't be happier that the Chargers organization took their stance that they did on Melvin Gordon. Said, well, you know what? He plays, doesn't play, but we're not going to figure it out this year.
Right.
And then you have Eckler, who turned in a hilarious performance 3 total touchdowns. I think it was 59 rushing yards and something. I forgot what
he went up like 100 and something.
He had phenomenal, which is exactly why the Chargers called Gordon's bluff.
Right. So, well, let's touch on Mike Mayock. I mean, we talked about this a little bit last week and the week before that a little bit as well on just teams that like obviously because we have our teams that we're fans of.
Yeah.
But these teams that we kind like we both are.
I don't anymore, by the way. I don't have a team anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan anymore.
Yeah. You're repicking.
Yeah, I'm repicking. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go with Carolina because they have Run CMC and I'm a huge fan of Run CMC. But regardless, I'm not a Tampa Bay fan anymore. I'm re-upping.
But on top of that, there's now I kind of have a little interest in Oakland because of Mike Mayock's stance.
Exactly, 100%.
He took a stance. He wasn't going to put up with any of that.
Here's the deal. Yes, I agree. Not to cut you off. I found myself last night watching a game that I probably wouldn't watch because I'm not a Broncos fan. I'm not a Raiders fan. And invested in my time because I wanted to support the Oakland Raiders.
Absolutely, because you have a GM like that.
Yes.
And I think, take any other sport out of it. I'm not even worried about basketball. I don't even, this. I don't care about basketball.
Yeah.
I don't even want to watch a basketball game.
Yeah.
But the NFL, if you can get just, we'll start with like 3 GMs and owners a year, to start taking that step. This league will turn around faster than you can think.
I agree.
As soon as you stop letting these guys.
But will they?
No, absolutely
because
not.
You have jackasses like LeBron James, who's a basketball player, saying that the NFL owners are like a bunch of slave drivers and rich slave owners and everything else.
Rich slave owners is what
which is ridiculous. So I agree with you 100%. I found myself last night. I tuned in and I watched the game.
I watched a little bit
because I wanted to see the Raiders win because of Mike Mayock. So good job, Mike Mayock. I hope one day that I get to shake your hand because I think that's phenomenal. I think you did a phenomenal job in what you did. I know you'll downplay it. I know people will downplay it, but what you did was a huge step in the right direction for NFL.
You can downplay it all you want, but people with their eyes open saw it.
Yeah, 100%. So good job.
All right, moving on. We'll get away from that conversation that slanted a little bit towards politics.
Yeah, that got heated, but I don't care at this point in time.
But that's like you said, it's mainstream. Like you can't
get away from it.
You can't get away from it. It's everywhere. I just find it bullshit that you got guys like Antonio Brown that can get away with anything.
Yep.
And all a quarterback said, who's a phenomenal quarterback, stand-up guy in his community. New Orleans loves this guy.
Yep.
All he said was he supports the school program to bring your Bible to school.
Yep.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so week 1 recap.
Yeah, week 1.
That's what we're going, right? That's the next step. So week 1 recap and then our picks for this week 2.
It was a crazy week.
It was a weird week, bro. I don't know how. So when I'm looking at you and I both said right before we started this that you said we both went 10-5-1.
Yeah, we both went 10-5-1.
And I thought that I was going to go negative. I thought I picked so bad that I was going to. So the fact that we went 10-5-1 to me is a win.
Yeah, there was a few surprises to me. I'm not gonna lie. Lamar Jackson with the Ravens. I mean,
he played the Dolphins.
Right, as I said, but he didn't try to run at all, which kind of like he wasn't even in the game plan.
Because he didn't have to.
Right. I mean, they're playing probably the worst team in the league. But
Montana Grizzlies could probably hang with the Dolphins this year.
I need more to go off of if I'm gonna support his comments of not too bad for a running back. Bro, I still think you're a running back.
He's still a running back, and he's still gonna be forced to be a running back. Again, you're playing what might be the worst team to take the NFL field in maybe 20, 25 years.
Yeah, they're bad.
They're very bad. I mean, so bad to the point where there's rumors that after the game they had multiple players calling their agents saying, I want to be traded out of Miami.
That came out before the game, though, didn't it?
No, it came out after the game.
Was it after the game?
After the game. You know why? Because they let Lamar Jackson throw 5 touchdowns on him.
So I'd retire.
I'd call it good. Let's just shut down Miami. Miami's no longer NFL.
Another surprise to me was the no gray area Arizona Cardinals. I mean, they were horrible or they were good.
Yeah.
They didn't play decent. They didn't play mediocre. They stunk the joint up for 3.5 quarters.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Kyler Murray was like, you know what? I was the first.
Wait a minute.
I was the first overall pick.
Hold my beer.
I kind of know how to play this game a little bit.
He looked good.
And he took it over. He was poised. He was making throws. He took control of that entire offense.
Yeah.
And Larry Fitzgerald is inhuman apparently because you shouldn't be playing football like that and make it like that 36 years old.
No, he's amazing. He's phenomenal. So good for him. And I like Larry Fitzgerald, so I'm really glad to see him.
I mean, another guy, class act.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Athlete. Yeah. So phenomenal in his community.
Yeah.
Another surprise, how well the Colts played.
Colts didn't play bad. Well, we knew they were going to have a defense.
Yes.
Right? But their defense didn't really play.
No, their offense kept them in the game.
Their offense kept them in the game. So, maybe they have something. And the Chargers are a good team. The Chargers are not a walkover. So,
no. All right, we'll just start at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay, Chicago. Snooze fest game for your average
super boring. It was a week 1 game.
If you're a football fan, it was a great game because the defenses both showed up.
Yeah. So
if you were expecting a 35-28 shootout, the game was probably horrible for you.
Yeah.
I didn't mind a defensive battle.
Well, and we're very old school thinking. We like that old battle. Now, here's my question on that. Okay, so my question is on that game: is Green Bay's defense that good, or should we be concerned about Mitchell Trubisky in Game 1, Week 1?
I don't think we should be worried about Trubisky. I think the Packers showed some things on defense where they're not going to be maybe as bad as everybody thought they were going to be.
Right.
You said it yourself. It's Week 1.
Yeah.
Trubisky actually didn't play that bad.
He really didn't. So he got blamed for playing a horrible game.
Yeah.
The one difference between him and Aaron Rodgers was about 7 or 8, 9% completion percentage, which is a lot. Like, he had a 56, 58%, and he had the 1 interception. Right? They both got sacked 5 times.
Right.
So he didn't have a horrible
that interception,
game.
He tried forcing it. I guess that's what they consider that a negative. But went to his go-to guy all night long. Just overthrew him in the end zone.
Yeah.
Early on in that game, the Bears wide receivers were not helping him out at all.
No.
He was out. He was without his number 1 tight end. Trey Burton didn't play.
Yep.
So I guess we'll get through this week.
And we'll see.
And see how Trubisky's playing.
I got that one wrong, though.
But I think it's just a combination of the Packers being a little better on defense than we thought they were going to be.
Yep.
And Week 1.
I agree.
But I got it wrong as well. We both took Chicago.
I agree.
The second game on the list that we had was Washington, Philadelphia.
The only thing I want to say in this game is I don't think we can read into anything else other than it took Philadelphia a minute to wake up in the game.
Absolutely.
Because Philadelphia is a damn good football team. They're going to be a good football team this year, and Washington is going to be horrible. So I don't think
Case Keenum didn't play too bad.
He didn't play too bad.
He took advantage of Philadelphia sleeping a little bit.
Yeah.
Philadelphia suffered a pretty big loss. Malik Jackson's out for the season.
That's a big one.
Big defensive lineman.
Yeah.
I don't think Deshaun Jackson's going to put up numbers like that every week.
No. No. For fuck's sake, okay? I have a very good team we have a fantasy team, all right, on our fantasy league.
Right.
Right? And I have a fucking amazing team, okay? And my team performed like it fucking should have. My team performed 199 points like it should have week in, week out. I have an amazing team. I have one of the second best team in the league. And I have the goddamn only person in the world who has Sammy Watkins
and
Deshaun Jackson, who will probably never have another game like that for the rest of the year, and they both score 80 points combined.
Yeah.
So I don't want to talk about that game anymore, but Deshaun Jackson went off. He had a hell of a game. It's going to be the only one he has a hell of a game on. I will say he beat Josh Norman, which is awesome because Josh Norman's a big shit talker. But that one, that's a little sore subject for me.
Yeah.
So.
But it was just a case. Philadelphia
just needed a minute to wake up.
First half a little bit, and then they turned it on.
Yes, I agree.
Bills, Jets. Jets were up, 16-0, I think, or 16-3, something like that. And the Bills came storming back.
I am a Josh Allen fan. I like Josh Allen.
Josh Allen did not have a good first half.
I know. Kind
of got things going in the second half. So I don't know. We'll have to see how both these teams fare.
Yeah, that's not sounding rude, but that's a shitty game.
Yeah, but Josh Allen turned it on. Did the Jets keep playing? I mean, they lost a couple guys on defense. I don't know how much that affected them. But the Jets also just got a new weapon. Mm-hmm. The Patriots traded Demaryius Thomas to him.
Give it Demaryius Thomas? No, I thought the Patriots released Demaryius Thomas.
No, they traded him to the Jets.
Oh.
So Sam Darnold has another little weapon to play with.
We'll see. He's kind of old.
He's not. I mean, he's.
Well, he's definitely gone downhill.
He's gone downhill.
He hasn't. He's not the same Demaryius Thomas that was a little while ago.
Yeah, he's definitely not the Demaryius Thomas that's playing with Peyton Manning.
Yeah. Okay.
Falcons, Vikings.
We both called this game.
Yeah, we both got the Vikings. I didn't think the Vikings were going to win with, what's his face? What's the damn quarterback's name?
Did you think Vikings were going to win with Kirk Cousins throwing 98 yards?
There you go, yeah. I did not think the Vikings were going to win with Kirk Cousins throwing 100 yards.
The Vikings have one of the top defenses in the league.
They have for years.
And they have for years, and I think, and I'll tell you, I like their coach. I'm a fan of their coach. I'm not a fan of Cousins. But what I am a fan of is old school football, and Dalvin Cook looked good.
Oh, they made a point to run the ball.
Dalvin Cook looked good, and he was excited. If that guy stays healthy, they very well might be in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, I didn't like it. Stephon Diggs got me 0 points.
Adam Thielen got me a touchdown in like the first 5 minutes and didn't do anything for the rest of the year.
Next game, Ravens Dolphins. We already touched on that. Running back threw for 5 touchdowns against the Dolphins.
Yeah, it's the Dolphins.
Next one, Chiefs Jaguars. Wasn't a bad game. Nick Foles got hurt, broke his collarbone,
which is too bad. I mean, he's eligible to come back week 10. He had a good pass in the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great throw. Even better catch.
Yeah, you get excited real quick, and then he breaks his clavicle.
Yeah,
and I don't know. It's a rough one for me. I feel bad for the Jaguars. Their defense still looked good for most part of the game, and then they kind of ran it. But they gave up some big plays.
Yeah,
big plays.
You took the Chiefs. I took the Jaguars. I'll tell you the story of that game for me though was their 5th round, I believe he was, quarterback.
Yeah,
but he did not play bad at all. I mean, it's the Chiefs defense.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's nothing to write home about, but. For being a 5th round draft pick, that dude was making some throws.
Yeah.
Next game blew my mind. The Titans steamrolled the Browns.
Wow. So, did we jump the gun on the Browns?
No, I'm still riding Baker Mania all the way through the season.
I agree. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with you. I agree that I think that they were overhyped and underprepared. Now, let me tell you this. My big concern has been, since last year, since the beginning of this year, whatever it may be, my big concern is still my number one concern, and it's Freddie Kitchens.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Is the tight end coach ready to be a head coach?
Right, and that's been the underlying issue with the Browns for me all offseason.
That's it.
I love their additions. I love the energy they play with, everything they bring to the table. I've wondered since day one, was Freddie Kitchens the right hire?
They could have got Holmberg, whatever his name is.
The ex-Packers coach.
Yeah. Yep. They had a chance at Arians.
Right.
Right.
You know why they hired Freddie Kitchens? His relationship with Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, and I do understand that, and that's important. You want to have a good relationship.
No, but that was it. Like, the guy wasn't even an offensive coordinator.
No, he was a tight ends coach.
Tight ends coach, right.
He was a tight ends coach. So, I don't know. I worry that that's the wrong call, but only time will tell. I do think you're jumping the gun if you're sitting here selling and burning your Browns jerseys. I think you're jumping the gun. Mayfield is a proven winner, and I think he's going to find a way to win. And you don't have people like Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. on that team. You don't have people like Miles, like Garrett. You just don't have people like that.
No, it was just
and turn in a losing season.
And let's be honest, the Titans aren't that great of a team.
They're not. But Derrick Henry looked amazing.
It was a perfect storm.
Yeah.
The Titans, they were ferocious on defense. They got after Mayfield. They rattled him a little bit.
Ferocious on defense.
Now
I will say this: the other concern on that team is the offensive line.
Yeah. Well, the offensive line was always a question. They didn't do too much to
Right.
it.
So, isn't going to help? I mean, Mayfield got knocked around a lot.
Yeah. So they're definitely going to have to shore that up a little bit. My next question for this game is who in the blue hell plays a football game wearing a $200,000 watch?
Odell Beckham Jr. does. Okay.
Why?
Because he's Odell Beckham Jr.
Because you just want to know what time it is?
Because he's Odell Beckham Jr. Wonder if he forgot to take the watch off.
No, he says he's going to wear it again next week.
He's doing that because people are being an asshole. And I don't blame him. Who gives a shit?
He goes, if it was a $20 watch or someone else was wearing it, it wouldn't be a big deal.
I disagree that it wouldn't be a big deal. Now, that's a double negative, though, because at the same time, I think people are like, oh, my gosh, Sammy Watkins is wearing a $200,000 watch. A, Sammy Watkins can't afford a $200,000 watch, okay? And B, Odell Beckham Jr. needs to realize that he is one of the best receivers in the NFL, So he is going to be criticized as one of the best receivers in the NFL.
And he's also one of the biggest personalities.
So if you're looking at fucking, what's his name, Renfro, who's a 3rd or 4th or 5th round pick out of Clemson for the Oakland Raiders, if you're looking at him and what is he doing with a $200,000 watch, that's ridiculous.
He just blew his signing bonus.
He just blew his signing bonus. He wanted to buy something cool. Like, no one, you're right. You're probably right with Beckham Jr. No one's going to recognize it or see it, but you're in the spotlight more than almost anybody else at that position.
I just want to know why. Why he was wearing a watch.
Because
during a football game.
I don't know.
And 2, I don't know. Apparently, obviously, he's got a lot more money than I do. But I don't know why you would take that risk with a $200,000 watch.
I don't know.
All it took was one hit with a helmet, and we're going to buy a new watch.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, next game, Rams-Panthers. Was a pretty good game. Christian McCaffrey put up some numbers.
My number 2 pick in that league. Let me tell you, he is quickly becoming one of my favorite players to watch in the NFL.
I'll tell you who didn't get me a lot of points was Jared Goff. Because that passing game was non-existent for the most part.
It was absolutely existent every 4 yards at a time.
Yeah.
Like every 4 yards at a time. I sat with a buddy at the bar, and he had sat in there, and he said, will you just throw the damn ball? No, he won't throw the damn ball because he can't throw the ball like that. He has 2 or 3 big plays in him a game, and then other than that, he just kills you with under routes. But let's get back to the man, the run CMC. That dude is amazing. Guy's out of Stanford. He gets passed up for the Heisman. In my opinion, he gets passed up for the Heisman. Comes in the NFL, has an a very quiet rookie season and stuff. Blows up last year, especially towards the end of last year, had a great year.
Right.
And continue. Every year he's added 7 to 9 pounds of muscle every year in the offseason. Yeah. Now the fucker's huge.
Oh, yeah.
And if you watch the last series that the Carolina Panthers have, second to last series or last series, that guy is amazing. He's breaking tackles. He's running through arm tackles. He's cutting like it's nobody's business. He might be one of the most athletically gifted people I've ever seen in my life. I love his dad. I love his brother at Michigan, and I love him, man.
And that was his big thing coming out of college too. Is he's not that in between the tackles runner.
Wow, that's changed.
Yeah, it's changed a lot.
That's changed because he was bulldozing some people. It looked good, man.
But it was a good game.
It was a good game. I think it solidified Christian McCaffrey as the go-to player on the Panthers and not Cam Newton anymore. I think Cam Newton has passed his prime, and I do think he's running.
I don't know if I necessarily agree that Cam Newton's past his prime, but Christian McCaffrey taking over this offense is possibly the best thing that ever happened to Cam Newton.
Yeah, but if he utilizes it right. Now, Cam Newton's not running the ball.
Right.
Right? Should he be?
No.
I don't know.
With a guy like Christian McCaffrey, you don't have to. I mean, he can still run the ball, but he doesn't have to run it as often as he used to.
I agree. Christian McCaffrey should be Cam Newton's best friend, but is it gonna open up Cam Newton? I don't know if Cam Newton can make the big throws that Christian McCaffrey will open up by having these quick little dump plays that he turns into 20, 30 yards at a time. Right? I don't know if Cam Newton can make those throws anymore with his shoulder being bummed up, his ankles always tore up. I just don't know if he can make those big plays anymore when he needs to.
Well, if McCaffrey keeps playing like that and Cam Newton can figure that out, they're going to be dangerous.
Sure. By the way, there's no way we hit 50 minutes, so
you said it.
It's okay. It's all right. Moving forward.
Cincinnati and Seattle.
That was a good game, too.
Seattle won the game. Cincinnati. Holy shit.
Well, John Ross.
Right. I mean, but no one expected Cincinnati to hang around with them like that.
They didn't, but John Ross made some big plays.
Cincinnati's defense played some big plays to keep them in the game.
Yeah. Now, again, is it Cincinnati looks that good, or Seattle's in week 1 and still has yet to? Because it's always the same thing. Defense always looks good. Offense looks rough.
Right. I think it was a case of Cincinnati might be better than we thought for the most part.
I'm not ready to say that. I disagree with that.
They were without their number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah. But I mean, they're always without
him. But to play Seattle like that, it kind of shows you something. They might be a little better than we thought they would be. I'm not saying they're going to,
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
Games, but
I disagree. I don't think they're better than we thought we are.
I'm going to try to pick up John Ross.
I have him.
Just in case.
No, I have him in my other league. I'm
going to try to pick him up just in case.
Yeah, good luck.
I have AJ Green, so I mean, I'll try to make this work out. We touched on Colts Chargers a little bit already.
Eckler.
Melvin
Gordon who?
Shit.
Melvin Gordon who?
I wouldn't, even if Melvin Gordon comes back, I wouldn't let him play.
No, I mean, Melvin Gordon who? Eckler looked amazing.
Yeah.
He did. He looked the part of... And he looked the part of Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon last year had how many rushing yards? 890?
Yeah, something like that. It was under 900.
And then he had like 500 receiving yards. Eckler had 60 yards rushing. and he had 3 touchdowns, and 2 of them are receiving, or 3 of them are receiving. He looked Melvin Gordon's part.
He had 1 rushing touchdown.
He looked Melvin Gordon's part.
Yeah.
And there's a reason. That's the reason why they're not paying Melvin Gordon and extending him and making it a priority, because Eckler looked good. He looked good last year.
Well, the backup. What did he average? Like 7 yards a carry?
As backup?
Yeah.
6.7, I think.
Yeah. I mean,
6.7.
So if you have your starter come like that, then you have your backup, who's probably going to see a few more carries as the season goes on to try to keep Eckler fresh.
Sure.
Even if he drops a yard a carry, if you're averaging 5 yards a carry,
if you're averaging 5.7 yards a carry, if you're averaging anything over 4.5, you're looking really good.
I mean,
you're looking really good.
The Chargers might be onto something here, and Melvin Gordon's shit out of luck.
Well, I think Melvin Gordon's shit out of luck, and I love it. So,
all right, next game, Niners Tampa Bay.
Okay, so if you are one of the 4 people that have heard us before, right? I used to be a really big Tampa Bay fan. Okay, I am not cheering for Tampa Bay until they fire Jameis Winston. I was the biggest supporter of Jameis Winston. He's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. Now he's got Arians. Now he's got Byron Leftwich. They're gonna make him look great. That might have been one of the worst displays. The 2 pick sixes, right? And then that last pick six.
The last pick six. I mean, I don't know how you throw that football. If you throw it in the dirt. I mean, it's a screen pass.
Yeah.
You see it 10 times a game.
Yeah.
Not there, throw it in the dirt.
Yeah.
No, he decided to try to throw it to his receiver, who's surrounded by 4 defenders.
Yeah.
And it was a Christmas present.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say about this. I have lost all faith in Jameis Winston. I'm not going to lose faith in the Buccaneers quite yet, because I've seen Jameis Winston win games by throwing by the yardage. The defense looked pretty good.
Yeah.
The defense looked pretty good. Yeah. Todd Bowles' defense looked good.
The Niners
Ronald Jones looked really good.
Absolutely.
Ronald Jones looked 1,000 times better. He looked strong. He looked bigger. He looked faster.
He was confident.
He was running. He was breaking tackles. He was on the ball. Ronald Jones looked good. So if Ronald Jones can keep it going, I still think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a chance to get into the playoffs.
I like the way Ronald Jones played.
Yeah.
He's on my bench.
Yeah.
He might not be on my bench very much longer.
Yeah, he played. I mean, he might be winning the starting position here very soon.
But no, it was nothing the Niners did.
No, the Niners didn't win the game.
Right.
The Tampa Bay lost the game.
I mean, it's not like the 49ers offense came out and just blew people away.
Right.
Tampa. I mean, you said yourself, 2 pick sixes.
Jameis Winston lost the game.
That's a lot to overcome.
Jameis Winston lost the game.
And there was almost another one at the end of the game.
Yeah, Jameis Winston lost the game. Oh, yeah. There should have been four interceptions.
Yeah. I was like, holy shit.
Jameis Winston lost that game, and it is his last year on his contract, and barring it's the first week.
If he doesn't turn around,
very soon, he's not getting another contract.
He might get a backup contract somewhere. But all right, next game is Giants and the Cowboys. We were split on this one.
Yeah.
I took the Cowboys. You took the
I like how any other game that we're split on, you don't bring up until we talk about the Cowboys. Okay? We've been split on a couple games, and you've sit here and be like, then you bring up the Cowboys game, and you're like, we were split on this one. No, the Cowboys, let me tell you what, man. Dak Prescott, while yes, it's still week 1, it's still early, Dak Prescott has the ability to turn into my Russell Wilson. When I always say that the very first week, we had said, I undervalued Russell Wilson his whole entire career. Dak Prescott looked amazing.
Okay, now I got a question for you.
Okay.
Did Dak Prescott play that good, or was it the play calling by Kellen Moore?
I think it's third. I think it's a third. I think it's Kellen Moore is a football genius. He's been touted as a football genius. He played with the Lions as a quarterback, and he was a backup quarterback then. And they were saying then that he's a football genius.
Yeah.
They were saying in Boise that he was a football genius. So I think he's a football genius. I think Dak Prescott played a hell of a game. He made some amazing throws. I thought, I'm not taking anything away from Dak Prescott, so I don't want to say that. And I do think that a third of it was the fact that the Giants are bad.
Yeah, the Giants look horrible.
But I cannot take anything away from Dak Prescott. I'm not a Dak Prescott fan. I'm still not a Dak Prescott fan. I still think he comes in the next week's game or the game after, and he's going to lose 3 or 4 games a year because he's not good. I don't know, but he is on the verge of proving me wrong for sure.
I'm not a huge Dak Prescott fan. I will tell you there was one play in this game that has got me leaning towards that he might be that guy, and that was a touchdown pass to Amari Cooper, because that had no room for error, and he just dropped it in like it was nothing. I'm like,
I don't know.
This boy might be coming to ball this year.
I am anxious to see. I'm anxious to watch them because Dak Prescott did look good. I'm a big Kellen Moore fan. I like Kellen Moore. Like I said, we watched him when Boise State made their run. I watched him in Detroit when he went to Detroit. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
To see.
But he played phenomenal.
He did play good.
And I'm a fan of the Randall Cobb edition.
Yeah. I mean, Randall Cobb's a very good serviceable
wide
receiver.
I was never a huge Cole Beasley fan.
Yeah.
So I'm digging the Cobb improvement.
I like Cole.
I think Cobb's an improvement over Cole Beasley.
I don't know if he is now. I think in his prime, Cobb would be an improvement. I think now they'd be very similar. I think Cole Beasley is a hell of a Cole Beasley is a hell of a receiver. So I'm not.
We'll see how good Cole Beasley is.
Yeah.
Now he's got another system. I mean, Dak Prescott loved throwing to Cole Beasley.
Yep.
Tony Romo loved throwing to Cole Beasley.
Yep.
So we'll see if he was that good or if it was just, guys.
Yep.
He was their security blanket.
We'll see.
All right, Lions Cardinals tied. We kind of talked about this.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit about
Kyler Murray came on late.
Yep.
The question I had on this game is why, with a minute left in the game, are you punting if you're Cliff Kingsbury?
I don't know.
I mean, I get not trying a long field goal because all you're doing is moving that ball back if he misses.
Yep.
You're going to give Detroit a really good field position for a possible field goal of their own.
Yep.
But the way that offense was playing, especially the way that drive started, or how overtime started, Kyler Murray was playing pretty good. The receivers are feeling it. Why would you not try to win that football game?
I mean, there's a lot of reasons that can go through your head. I don't know. He's very young. He's been experienced. He might not have had faith in his team. I don't know. I don't know. But regardless, I'll give it to Kyler Murray. He really brought him back. That's all I'm going to say about the game. I mean, I watched the very tail end of the game.
Even if you lose, you make a mistake and the Lions, return a fumble or, pick six. At least you tried to win the football game. And you can take that criticism as like, hey, we were trying.
But it's not that league anymore, though. And that's the one thing I will say. It's not the league of saying, hey, I tried or you almost won. It is a very win-now league. And a loss is worse than a tie.
Right, but let's be honest. No one's expecting Arizona to do anything this year.
I disagree. I don't think you can say that to any team about any team because I think it's a very win-now league. And I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're not expected. I think you're going to tell me that the people in Miami right now is not under the gun? I think it's false.
Oh, they're under the gun.
It's a very win-now league. And
that was a horrible
Kyle and Kingsbury is against he's got all eyes on him. Is his spread offense going to work in the NFL? Is it too cliche-ish and gimmicky for the NFL? Is Kyler Murray going to be the stud? Was it worth getting rid of Rosens and bringing in Kyler Murray at the number one pick? There's a ton of questions right now, and you have to win now in the NFL.
I get that there's a lot of questions, and you just said it. You have to win now. So why don't you try to win?
But if you miss that, if you don't get it, you put them in position to win. You put the Lions in position to win the game.
Yeah.
So I mean, don't get me wrong. We've talked about this a lot. If I was to find myself as a head coach in the NFL, I have a tendency. I mean, I do it now. When we coached last year, you and I coached last year together in Little Guy football, and it was 4th and 3, 4th and 4, and you looked at me, and you're like, "It's your call. Whatever you're gonna do." And I went for it because I like going for it.
Right.
And people like people who go for it. But in the NFL, it is a very win now league, and he might have been playing it safe. And
I don't know. It's your first game. You came storming back.
Mm-hmm.
You got to try to get that win.
I don't disagree with you. I honestly don't see it. I don't disagree with you.
You send the punt team on the field.
I don't disagree with you, but regardless, at the end of the day, he's making a lot of money.
Let's blow through these last three ones. We had the Steelers, New England. New England steamrolled them.
New England looks like the Super Bowl champs.
Yes, they look very good.
And Tom Brady looks amazing. Belichick looks every bit of a genius he is. The defense looked amazing. But my only asterisk on this game is what I said previously. Antonio Brown, as big of a bitch as he is, and as big of a punk as I think that guy is, and as big a diva as I think he is, carries an offense because it opens up so much.
Right.
And Ben Roethlisberger, James Conner, and Juju, whatever his name is, looked the part of someone who was lost without their star player.
Yeah, they're gonna have to figure something out to get that offense.
And I don't think they will,
because that offense was horrible.
It was bad.
Texans, New Orleans.
That was a game.
Holy shit!
That was a fun game. That was a fun game. Deshaun Watson looked like a stud.
Deshaun Watson took a beating in that game.
Drew Brees looked like a stud. Drew Brees looked
twice with like lower back injuries.
They've got to find that guy some protection.
I gained a little respect for Deshaun Watson on that last drive. He got creamed and just dropped it into Stills.
That was a hell of a. And he's part of my phenomenal fantasy team who got fucked over by Sammy Watkins and Jackson. But
my wife had Deshaun Watson this week, and I got 9 points combined for my 2 starting running backs, so I was going to lose no matter what.
Yeah, and 31.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson did not help that case at all.
Yeah. He got me a lot of points.
Hopkins got me a shit ton of points.
I like Deshaun Watson. I like Watson. I like him as a player. I like the Texans. I want to see the Texans do good. I do think I saw something today that it shows that the Texans aren't quite ready. I think that's completely wrong.
I think
it shows that the Texans are right there.
Yeah, that game.
Because the Saints are probably the NFC champions this year, if not Minnesota, and if Minnesota or Seattle does not stop them, and I think one of those two teams will. I don't think the Rams will, but if Minnesota or the Seattle Seahawks do not stop the Saints, and I don't think they will, I think the Saints are the NFC champions this year. And going off of that, the Houston Texans punched them in the mouth. Gave them a fight, gave them everything they possibly could handle, and they barely pulled it out with a 58-yard field goal. So, 75% of NFL kickers miss that kick.
When you give Drew Brees 47 seconds,
Drew Brees 47 seconds
and a timeout, he's going to complete 3 passes and give his kicker a chance.
You can't give Drew Brees 45 seconds. But you also can't play it so safe that you give that kicker a 58-yard option. When all they had to do was keep him under a 5-yard gain, and they gave him up 9 yards on that play.
Well, the same thing can be said about New Orleans.
I get it. You want to keep everybody in front of you, but stop playing so scared.
Yeah, that kicker bailed out the Saints defense.
Sure.
Because they let the Texans march how many yards in 2 plays?
Yep.
Yep.
But I do disagree.
Phenomenal game.
I think that's the coming out game for the Texans. I think they're going to be a good team this year. I think they're a playoff team.
No, I think that game there combined with
long as Watson stays healthy.
Correct.
Deshaun Watson is the key to that team.
As long as he stays upright.
Yeah.
But he got sacked 6 times?
Yeah.
On pace to be sacked more than he was last year. Broncos Raiders. I didn't watch all of the game.
I watched a lot of the game. The fucking Derek Carr. I like Derek Carr. We talked a little bit about this earlier on in the podcast. We wanted to see the Raiders kind of play out because of Mac. Derek Carr looked good.
I'll tell you, the first touchdown of the game, Derek Carr threw the ball over a linebacker and in a spot that if that wide receiver doesn't catch it, it's an interception. But it was that's the only place that ball could have gone. That was probably one of the best throws I've seen Derek Carr make.
I think Derek Carr's a very good quarterback. I think he's a very good starter. I think he's got the ability to be a very good starter and a winner in this league. I like Derek Carr. I want to see Derek Carr win. How do you win football games? You win football games, very simple, by not making mistakes. And he didn't make a mistake.
Nope.
And I don't care who you are. You can sit here and talk about coming out and passing the ball, running the ball, having a great defense, everything else. You win football games by having a fundamentally sound team and by not making mistakes. And when you don't make a mistake, your team wins. And Derek Carr didn't make a mistake.
No, he didn't. And that running back
might
be the real deal.
Man, he might be.
He played good.
He had a really shitty average for the first half of the game.
Right.
He only had like a 2.7-yard average through 2.5 quarters. And then he started really turning it up, and they kept feeding him the ball, and then he started clicking.
But they didn't abandon him, and that was the key for me, I think, because I was wondering if it was, obviously he's from Alabama, he's used to those big games.
Yep.
But this is a way bigger stage.
Yeah, big time.
It's your first professional, real game, but
and let's not forget that the Broncos have a good defense.
The Broncos have a great defense.
They have a very, very good defense. I'm not ready to call it great yet, but they have a very, very good defense. And this
we'll still see if they're still. Because their secondary is legit. They got Von Miller. They got some.
They got Chubb. If
they're on, they're one of the best defenses.
Here's why I don't buy into the Denver Broncos, because you got Joe Flacco.
Yeah,
and I don't like Joe Flacco, it's not a like. I don't think he's good.
I'm not buying the Denver Broncos because not just because they have Joe Flacco, but they don't have a running back. I'm not a Lindsey fan.
I'm not a Lindsey fan.
I think last year was a fluke.
Oh sure. Well, I mean he's tiny.
He's undersized, bigger than shit, they don't really have any wide receivers. You have
Emmanuel Sanders played good.
He's the only guy they have.
He is the only guy.
They got young guys who could step up, but they need to.
I also don't feel like that team's going to go anywhere until Elway steps down. And I like Elway, but I don't think he can see past his own opinion to win.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
I love Elway too, but he's made the correct not even really a long term. Because Peyton Manning wasn't there that long. He has a hard time finding that guy at quarterback.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Before we move on to picks, real quick.
Okay.
Touch on something. I just got an alert on my phone.
Okay.
Antonio Brown could be placed on the commissioner's exempt list.
It just makes me happy.
Because of this case.
It just makes me happy.
Right, we're over our 50-minute limit you said we would, so we still got picks, so let's just get through
Let's burn through these.
All right, so we got Thursday night game is Tampa Bay and Carolina.
I'm picking Tampa Bay.
They're going to rebound, huh?
I do think they rebound. I think is Winston going to throw interceptions? Yes, and I've said it before. I'm okay with interceptions, right? But Winston has the ability to make some big plays. Mike Evans wasn't playing good, all right, and he was sick. He had the flu. Devin White was sick, had the flu. The flu bug literally hit Tampa Bay. And I think they're going to have a bounce back. I don't think Arians is going to settle for it. I think Leftwich is going to get up Winston's ass, and I'm going to pick the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm taking Carolina.
Okay.
I think Carolina's going to bounce back.
Okay.
Both teams lost last week.
I don't think Carolina lost. They lost a hard-fought game against a good team.
Someone's got to win their first game.
Yep.
Next game is Dallas and Washington.
I picked Dallas.
I'm taking Dallas. I don't foresee Washington have anything that they can.
I don't like Dallas, and I don't think they're gonna. And when I say I don't like him, please don't take it the fact that I don't like him. Dallas doesn't like him. No, I don't like the way they look. I don't like the way the team's performing. I don't like them.
Colts Titans.
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
I'm going to pick the Titans, and I tell you because I think Derrick Henry is going. I think they're going to keep feeding that asshole the ball, and that is a big fucker.
Yeah, that is a very big dude.
He's a big dude.
I don't know on this one.
Split on this one, huh? Dead time.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just pick somebody.
I'm gonna go Titans just because they're at home.
Just because I went with them. Okay, that's cool.
Absolutely.
No, that's cool.
It was tough because the way the Colts played last week, I could easily see them winning this game, but I don't think they can do that 2 weeks in a row.
I agree.
I don't think the Titans can do it 2 weeks in a row either, so that's the shitty part.
Yeah, it's going to be it. Yeah.
All right, Seattle and Pittsburgh.
Seattle
all the way.
That's an easy one. Is that New England, Minnesota? Sorry. Oh, it's New England, Miami. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. I'm looking and trying to.
All right. Next one is Buffalo and the New York Football Giants.
I take the Giants only because of Saquon.
Taking the Giants. In that one?
Saquon Barkley. I am.
You don't think the Bills can do it 2 weeks in a row?
I don't, and I think Eli Manning is going to win you 4 or 5 games. And I think
Eli Manning didn't play bad.
He's not. I mean, and I think he's going to win you 4 or 5 games. And I think Saquon Barkley is going to win you 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
So I think
I don't know.
I pick the Giants.
How many games? Let's say the Bills win this game,
mm-hmm.
and the Giants start the season off on a losing streak.
Mm-hmm.
How far does that losing streak go before you turn it down to Jones?
5 games.
Think 5 games?
Yeah.
I'm also going to go with the Giants on this one. I don't think Buffalo can do it 2 weeks in a row.
Okay.
And then, like you said, the Giants actually won.
Yep.
Next, we got New England and Miami. I'm taking New England 120 to nothing.
I mean, what is the spread? I would love to know the spread for that game. It's got to be New England, like 17 plus. Like it's got to be.
It's got to be ridiculous. Jacksonville and the Texans.
That's a tough one.
I'm telling you, I'm taking the Texans.
I'm taking the. Oh man, I'm going to take the Texans. I don't think the Jaguars. I worry about the Jaguars without Nick Foles. Leonard Fournette didn't look amazing. Didn't shock me.
He didn't look bad.
But didn't shock at all.
As well as that 5th-round quarterback played.
But you know what?
He's still a 5th-round quarterback.
Sammy Watkins tore that ass up. and Denard Hopkins is one of the best receivers in the league.
Correct.
So, and if Deshaun Watson plays, I don't know who can stop him. He's good.
Another thing I saw yesterday.
He's Cam Newton 2.0.
Before we move, to fix Jacksonville's quarterback problem,
they got Josh Dobbs.
No, that was it. They traded for Joshua Dobbs.
Yeah, that's horrible.
It said sign Colin Kaepernick. So, with all the bullshit aside, is Colin Kaepernick better than that 5th-round quarterback that was playing for the Jaguars yesterday?
Colin Kaepernick is not. Colin Kaepernick's been out of football for a long time.
Right.
Okay, Colin Kaepernick was not a great quarterback when he was in the league. Okay, he was a very one-dimensional player. He ran first, passed second. You don't know what kind of shape he's in. The picture I saw last time, he had a little spare tire around him, right? I know he's throwing with OBJ.
OBJ can make anybody look good.
OBJ can make anybody look good. I also don't think Colin Kaepernick ever gets picked up because nobody wants to take a shot and lose that kind of publicity, because you would lose a shit ton of publicity.
Right. But if that quarterback throws like he did yesterday, the answer is no. Colin Kaepernick is not better than that 5th-round quarterback.
I don't think Colin Kaepernick's better than a lot of quarterbacks.
Because he was that dude was balling yesterday. All right, Vikings, Packers.
Vikings look good. The defense looked mean. If you can win a game and the quarterback only throws 98 yards, 1 touchdown, I guess, and 1 rushing touchdown, that defense looked mean.
I'm going Vikings as well. I was torn on this one because it's in Green Bay.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That adds a little bit to it.
It does.
I'm still going the Vikings.
I think Green Bay is one of those stadiums where you got to go past that 3 points you automatically get for home field advantage.
Yeah.
I think they have more of a home field advantage than a lot of teams do.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with Vikings at the end of the day. Next one is Chargers-Lions.
Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going Chargers.
The Chargers look good. The Chargers are going to be a good team this year. Don't let that game with the Colts fool you. The Colts looked good. The Chargers didn't look bad. The Colts looked good.
Right.
And I think I'm with you. I don't think they do it 2 weeks in a row, and I think the Chargers will keep rolling.
Niners, Bengals.
Nobody cares. Do I got to pick a winner?
I think there might be some fan bases that care.
Nobody cares.
I'm taking Cincinnati.
I'm going to take the Niners. Okay.
Arizona and Baltimore.
Nobody cares. That's a tough one. I'm going to take the Ravens because Arizona's defense is not good. Lamar Jackson's going to be on a high. Hope to God they don't try to make Lamar Jackson Peyton Manning all of a sudden see through 5 touchdowns, but they're not stupid. They know they played the Dolphins. But I think they're going to do enough to win. Mark Ingram looked good. He ran the ball well.
He did look good.
He ran the ball
As
well.
much as I want to go with Arizona and Kyler Murray trying to get his first win.
I want to go with it too, but I just don't see it.
I'm going to go with the Ravens because, like you said, Arizona's defense is not that good.
Yep.
To beat Lamar Jackson, you have to put pressure on him. You can't just let him stand back there and count to 30 before he throws the ball. And I don't think Arizona doesn't really have any pass rushers.
Yep.
They had to be really creative to get Terrell Suggs to the quarterback there. So, Chiefs, Raiders.
I got Chiefs.
Chiefs.
I like the Raiders. I want to see them win this game. It's a divisional game, so you never know.
Correct.
We'll find out how good the Oakland Raiders really are in this game, but I think the Chiefs are going to come out on top.
I got the Chiefs as well. I think it's going to be like 24-21 game.
Ooh, that's ambitious.
Or like 31-28.
Now, here's the deal. They lost Tyreek Hill.
They did.
Tyreek Hill's out, so...
And that Chiefs defense still is not that good.
Right. But I don't think the Raiders' offense is that good either.
No.
So, we'll see.
The Raiders are missing, as a pain in the ass as the guy is, and the Raiders are missing that Antonio Brown.
They're missing the big play receiver.
That deep threat guy.
Now, Tyrell Williams did play very good.
Yeah,
he played amazing.
Here we go. New Orleans and the Rams.
New Orleans. I take New Orleans. I think New Orleans are going to come out pissed.
Yeah.
I think they're going to come out pissed. I think they're going to come out on fire.
I think they should have finagled the schedule a little bit and not had this rematch in week 2.
Yeah. Or
started the season with it. Put that on Thursday night.
Thursday night. Yeah, I agree. That should have been Thursday night. I don't think the Rams are ready for what the Saints are going to bring.
No.
I think the Saints are pissed off. They're also running that huge high off of that win. They've got all momentum in the world. They got all reason in the world to come out. And Todd Gurley and Jared Goff did not look good.
No.
They didn't look good.
Gurley didn't look bad.
He looked like shit the first half.
He also didn't touch the ball a lot, too, so I don't know if that's part of the game plan or what.
Yeah. I mean, there's more going on with that than we know.
I got New Orleans as well. Next one is Chicago and Denver.
I got Chicago.
I got Chicago
on that one.
the non-existent Broncos offense is going to get battered by Chicago.
Did you see by chance? Did you see the fact that there's a replay of about 7 holding calls that should have been called against Khalil Mack and they never got called?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was kind of funny. They did a loop of it. It was pretty funny.
Philadelphia and Atlanta.
I take Philly. I think Philly's awake. I think they're ready to go. Carson Wentz is healthy. He's going to put some numbers up.
Right. This is another one I went back and forth on. I was leaning towards the home team.
The Falcons did not look good.
The Falcons did not look good. And that kind of.
But they played a hell of a defense. But the Eagles have a hell of a defense.
If the Falcons would have played a little better in Week 1, I might have went with them at home. But I'm going Philadelphia.
Yeah.
On the road. All right, Monday night game. Baker Mayfield against the Jets.
Is that really the Monday night game?
It is the Monday night game.
I mean, I guess because of Cleveland, but I take Cleveland.
Well, they picked it. It's Monday night game because of 2 young quarterbacks.
Sure. I take Cleveland. I think it was. I think people are worried for nothing. Do I think Cleveland Browns are as good as advertised? I think they're going to be close, but I do think it's going to take a minute for them to get going. And I think they were a little shell shocked. I think they had all this hype, all this build up, and I think it got to them a little bit.
I'm going Cleveland, and I think it was a matter. I don't even know if they were shell shocked. I think it was a matter of fact they had all that hype built around them.
Yeah.
And the Tigers just came out and just punched them in the mouth.
And they did. So I agree. I think I agree. So we only have like 1 or 2 differences in there, right?
Oh, let's see. We got 1.
Not many.
2.
2 differences.
2.
Huh. All right. Well, that's what happens when 2 geniuses think alike.
Absolutely.
Well, now we'll see. I mean, we might end up, 1-16 or
whatever.
But
we might win up 1-16. But the nice thing is as long as those 2 differences don't go too crazy, our record's going to be pretty similar again next week.
Pretty similar.
All right, so speaking of next week, what are we going to touch on? We're going to cover, what are we talking about? Some high school football standings?
We got some high school football standings in Montana.
Talk a little college football.
A little college football. We didn't touch up on any college football, and we got some college football to touch up on, and I got to figure out. I got to find another team. Looking for another team because Michigan almost lost to Army.
Yes. That.
So
their playoff aspirations just almost went out the window.
Let's not forget that Army is a good team. Let's not forget that Army's a good team.
They're always tough.
But that offense, they got to figure it out. Now, luckily, they have the off week to figure it out, so they got to figure it out.
What else do we got to talk about in college football? We got to talk about the Grizzlies shocking the world. They're going to go into Oregon and win.
Sure.
Said nobody.
I am not a diehard Grizz or Bobcats fan like you are. I know you're a big Grizz fan. If I have to lean either way, I think I go for the Grizz because I feel like the Grizz are kind of a roughneck kind of fan base. It's a Montana fan base. I mean, and so if I have to pick, I root for the Grizz. I don't think there's a chance in hell that they beat Oregon, and I don't think anybody thinks that. But good news is they're only making $750,000 for this game.
I mean, they definitely should be making more money than that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But then obviously we're going to recap NFL.
I recap the NFL.
We didn't talk about the fights this week. We had a big fight. There was a big fight. Khabib won that
pretty
easily.
Now, real quick, who do you have in the upcoming fight this weekend? Donald Cerrone or Justin Gaethje?
Oh, that one's tough.
Is it tough for you? I don't think it's tough for me.
I just think it's going to be a good fight.
I don't. I think Cerrone's going to put on a clinic.
I don't think it's going to put on. I'm going to take Cerrone, but I don't think it's by a clinic. I think it's going to be a good fight. So the Nick Diaz-Masvidal fight's official now.
That's official.
For the baddest motherfucker in the game belt.
Super nervous about Nate Diaz. I like Nate Diaz. I'm a big Nate Diaz fan, and this is a tough one for him. If he doesn't get it to the ground, and Nate Diaz doesn't want to get it to the ground, he wants to fucking go in there and box him.
So what else is big news? You got Covington trying to fight
Usman.
You got
Covington should fight Usman.
You got there was a problem with the negotiations.
Here's the deal. Nobody wants to fight Covington. Because if you lose the fight to Covington, then you're the jackass who lost to the jackass who runs his mouth.
Right.
And the problem is Covington is damn good. If you didn't watch that Robbie Lawler fight, you missed out on a clinic.
Yeah.
And I love Robbie Lawler. You love Robbie Lawler. I love Covington because I think it's awesome. He runs around in his belt with his America Make America Great Again hat. I love Covington, but nobody wants to lose to him. No. I don't think people are having problems. I don't know what to do, or I'm getting hurt of this. I don't think people want to fight Covington. He makes you look bad.
Well, according to the articles, the negotiations fell apart on Covington's side, I guess. I don't know how true those are, but Dustin Poirier wants to fight Covington for some reason. I can't remember what it was.
You just lost.
Just something Covington said about it.
That's a bad fight for Poirier.
Now Covington and Masvidal, good friends, training partners, are at each other's throats, talking shit to each other.
I mean, that might be a publicity thing. I don't know if it is or not. Don't get me wrong. No, nobody wants to fight Covington.
Conor McGregor came out of left field. He wants to fight Khabib now.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
If the Ferguson fight falls through,
and he'd look like he'd get tooled then too.
And Dustin Poirier wants a rematch with McGregor.
Now that might be a fight to watch.
So it'll be interesting to see how it goes down.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got all that shit to talk about coming up in the weeks. I mean that we got plenty of time for that.
Cool.
We got next Saturday, the 21st. We got big fights here in town.
Big Fusion Fight League. Fusion Fight League. You definitely got to get on Fusion Fight League. They brought in a big boy from. I don't know where the fuck he's from, but he's a big boy. Yeah. And he's got a lot of fights. That should be a good card.
Well, then you got the hometown favorites. You got the Willis brothers fighting.
Yep. Yeah. You got Corey Willis and what's his brother's name? I forgot.
Corey and Chris.
Name. Corey and Chris. Yeah, you got the weigh-ins are going to be here at the Plaza. The after fight party is going to be here at the Plaza. You got to get down there. You can actually get tickets here at the Plaza. We're going to put them on. I'll put them on 406 Sports also. But man, you guys got to get down and see the fight. Those fights are going to be good.
Yeah,
they're going to be good fights. That's a big card.
We'll be there.
Yep, we'll be there at a table doing our thing. So
all right, so we ran a little over your 50 minutes. So
shit.
Next time, just don't say a time.
Gotcha.
You jinx the shit out of us on that one.
Yeah.
That's all I got till next week.
Cool. Peace.